Brown is our guest this morning in studio. Good to have you here.
Good to be back.
Thank you on behalf of Canada for all your hard work representing us well. Can you show us our silver medal? You were so good to bring it in.
There
Camera one right here.
Yeah.
Being like, you know, it'd be really great to represent Canada in the Olympics, to being on the podium. Like, what was that moment that said, you know what, I'm actually going to try? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Tell me about the hours put in and the mental work that you put in. You see, do you believe me now? That is an incredibly tough coach. So obviously that never happened. I think sport suited who I already was. What did that mean?
I think that meant that I am an intense guy, sort of riding that edge a lot of the time. And that's what I meant by that.
I love that cauldron of intensity. Where do you keep your Olympic medal when you're not bringing it on TV shows?
So I typically keep it in its case above my microwave. I'll move it now that I told everyone where it is.
Hey, listen, it's a great story. Thank you for bringing it here to us and for putting it down in your book. So on your morning, we get sick leave, we get parental leave. Should we all? Well, with police now investigating mental health as a possible motive for this week's deadly van attack in Toronto, there's a growing conversation about whether this can stigmatize mental health issues unfairly or whether it offers important insights into mass violence and maybe how to prevent it. Joining us this morning is Jennifer Chambers. She's the executive director of the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health's Empowerment Council. Thanks for being here. When we look at an attack like this, you know, it seems so senseless and people talk about different motives and we often land on mental illness. Because I think sometimes people don't know what else to think other than why would anybody in a sound state of mind commit such. It's an interesting place to land because, for example, if we were to say it's terror, people feel like they know how to respond to that. They know the appropriate response is to be afraid, to be on. That's a really important point to make because you're right. I think the assumption is if we tag it with mental illness and found not criminally responsible, I think it's the language that makes people, you know, a little uncertain, that the assumption is then it's a lighter sentence. Right, coming up after the break, investor anxiety as shares of Enbridge take a beating over the pipeline uncertainty. BNN's Jameson Burko has more on our top business story of the day. Mackenzie, who is both a best-selling author and a lawyer, and she joins us this morning with the scoop on her new book, treading that oh-so-fine line between teasing and spoiling. Good morning and welcome. A book like this has so many secrets to reveal that it's tricky to talk about and stay away from those possible spoilers.
Right. Yeah.
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best. We'll figure it out.
All right. What is the inspiration of this, of using a national tragedy to run away from life and to hide?
Well, I think it's
that you just mentioned. Everybody leads somewhat of a double life. Everybody lies.
Yeah. Well, everyone. I mean, people don't necessarily actively lie to people, but we all have secrets and we all have parts.
Writing of this book and that idea that people put certain things forward and hold certain things back.
I don't think it's necessarily about being
here. The book is called The Good Liar.
Okay, guys, I want to tell you about some prototypes that are being shown at the auto show in Beijing. Can I do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's one car that's really stealing the spotlight right now. The seats you want,
That is
obviously
fancy.
the leather.
You
It is
can't have
fancy.
white. You couldn't put the children in there.
Would you put the children in that car?
No.
Is that
Are you
even an
kidding? To
option?
pick them up after school?
You'd be so obnoxious. I already feel obnoxious wearing like full makeup when I pick up my
With the
children
lashes?
at school because I feel like I have to explain myself, and that just is.
Good morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake. It's Tuesday, May 7th.
Good morning, I'm Peter Ackman. Ben is away.
And I'm Priya Sam, just after 6 Eastern, just after 7 Atlantic. Good morning, everyone. I got lost in a hole of looking at what happened at the Met Gala last night. Yeah.
So much fun. Such a good theme. Great that people embraced it so much.
Yes.
I think
for
you're
J-Lo.
embracing
J-Lo's
it today.
I know.
Come
You
on,
are.
look at you,
Hair.
both of you.
You were very Met Gala this morning, Anne-Marie.
I know. So yesterday. That's my story of my life. I'm a day behind.
I'm just
the
holding
fancy
your
things.
purse. That's my job.
Well, someone has to do it, so we're glad you're here. If you missed the Met Gala last night, we do have a roundup of some of the top outfits coming up a little bit later. But let's start with our top story this morning.
Incredible.
Yeah, those
So,
views are beautiful.
The one about Capilano, too, is that new one in Texas is pretty reinforced, right? Like, there's lots of supports, but that one in Capilano just makes you feel like you're swinging.
It does.
And it is swinging. It's good. You go on a windy day. I was just there with my family 2 summers ago, and yeah, all over the place.
Yeah. Anyway, so some things to try. Summer vacation's coming up. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have all your morning news and weather. Don't go away.
Yeah, it's wild. The fact that
2 of those 7 days in the week.
People who do intermittent fasting love it for
They love it.
one of two reasons.
Yes.
Because it helps them to shed a lot of weight
Yes.
and maintain that optimal weight. And also because they say it helps to keep their mind clear. They feel less sluggish.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting piece. The sluggishness and the mental clarity, that may come from a few different things that we have yet to pan out in science. I think the weight loss thing.
We are less than 2 weeks away from the wedding of the year.
And while none of us are invited, Harry and Meghan's big day, wedding season is upon us. Here to give us a little royal wedding guest inspiration is our very own stylist, Erica Work.
Erica, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here
I feel
so
like we should
early.
do this with British accents.
Yeah, shall we try?
Oh, God.
All right, Erica, for royal weddings or, big royal events or any more sophisticated events, is there a certain rule or rules that we should be kind of leaning towards in terms of how we get dressed?
Need to head to Windsor
Also,
Castle.
these models are a couple in real life. How cute is that?
Oh, for real?
Love that.
Okay,
Is my all-time favorite.
Why?
Because, well, you'll see. Just look.
so this is definitely a lot more
Yes.
fashion forward. This
Woo!
is daring. I
Come
could
on.
see someone
it's
like
amazing.
Princess Beatrice wearing something
Yes.
like this, right?
Yep.
So starting off again with David Dunkley's amazing fascinator. This is done with so much.
So once the wedding, and it's time for the reception, you want to take off the fascinator, you want to get a little bit loose.
Yes.
So what is this next look that we should be aspiring to, Erica?
So this is definitely more formal. This is black tie. We did this gorgeous off-the-shoulder dress. This is by Canadian designer Frescara.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, to help get primed for all the pomp and circumstances of your next wedding, you can find all of these fashion details that Erica has selected on our website, yourmorning.ca. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Now you just need to practice your wave.
Just a little bit, yes. A little, there you go.
Okay, everybody, this Your Tick topic really struck a nerve with a lot of people online. A lot of people talking. Yeah.
A lot. And you know what? So AM Liz, good morning, my friends.
Hi.
Is this too ambitious? Is this realistic?
This is one of those ideas that's good in theory, but really hard to live out when you consider how high housing prices across the country, but in particular in Toronto and Vancouver, and the stage of life that you're at 35, very different. Your salary point is going to be different because you use your 20s and your early 30s to sort of earn up to a certain place. So it's very challenging, I imagine, for most people.
Yeah, and you think about student debt and all that kind of thing. I mean, you're still paying that off for a lot of years.
You guys bring up some great points. You should have about 100. It has to be that liquid cash. We're not talking about asset values like a house. We're just.
I think this starts a bigger conversation, though. Maybe that's what it is. 'Cause I think it's just unrealistic for this one person, one financial expert, to say this is where you should be in your life. I think it does open up the conversation about, okay, so where are you in your life and where do you want to be?
Well, the government.
And as long as you get it by the 4th or 5th one, it's okay.
What is the difference for you between, what in terms of sense of satisfaction between working behind the scenes and building something as a group, right, and then doing something purely on your own, just one mic in your hand and an audience?
Purely, like when you look at old pictures of your parents and you see this, you see a picture of your dad.
Thanks so much. The question today.
Tonight's ever meeting between a sitting U.S. president and a North Korean leader, the U.S. will continue their push for North Korea to abandon its nuclear program. Will that happen? What else could be in store? Well, we've brought in Jack Kim, a senior advisor with Han Voice, a nonprofit for North Korean human rights. Welcome back.
Well, I think the first 5 minutes of what's going on.
President Trump saying, of course, that when asked how. Argument that the strong language that we saw at the G7 this weekend, including comments to our own prime minister and to our own government, are a setup for this meeting between he and Kim.
Well,
we've talked before about this definition of denuclearization, how it's different in the West than it would be in North Korea.
Yeah, perhaps even diplomatic relations, so that the more serious, reserving language for one of your allies, it's not the right thing to do.
When we talk about international trips, this one being historic, it's never been done. So are there possible faux pas that could occur? And if so, what would they be?
Yeah, and you got to think that Trump is coming out of the G7. He's angry, he's mad, he's jet-lagged, he's traveled. Is he going to crack? Is he going to get angry right off the bat? So there's a lot of things that could go wrong.
Thank you, Jack, so much for being here. We will be watching closely, as will you, and we will talk to you in the days to come about analysis of what happened and what came out of this summit. Good to have you here this morning. All right, let's check in on our top business story of the day. That is U.S. President Donald Trump taking aim at Canada over trade this weekend, adding that he might even double down on tariffs by hitting our sensitive auto industry. BNN Bloomberg's Jameson Broco now with more on, which reminded me of a time, this is decades ago and going back decades to sort of the 60s, 70s era, when people had bumper stickers that said, "Don't buy a rice burner, buy American." You know, very racist attack on Japanese automakers.
But creating that kind of threat, the automotive industry, we sell about 5 times as much in terms of volume cars to the U.S. as we do steel and aluminum, and we our economy.
Just another example of where politics and the economy are very closely aligned, especially when we're taking a look at these deals. You'll have the rest of that today on BNN Bloomberg. Thanks, Jamie. Still ahead in your morning, we're going to take a look at the invisible struggle of living with high-functioning depression.
You sit all the way in the back. Well, some of our research, and this actually came from a flight attendant, says that the best seat is actually right in the back. So I don't want to...
Like the extras?
Exactly, to the people who sit in the front.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting in the back, this is where a lot of the flight attendants hang out.
You literally just go,
Exactly, Linz.
I have that. But here's my problem, though.
What's the problem?
I feel like, okay, so I agree that's probably a really fun thing to do because you have access right there. But oftentimes, if I'm sitting in the back rows, they run out of the food I want.
Oh, so I have a hack for that.
Oh, you do?
You order
This is a good one.
vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because they bring out the vegetarian meals first, no matter where you're sitting on the plane. So if you sit in the back, you've got more likelihood of an extra seat. And order vegetarian, then your food will come first.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's usually just pasta. So, I mean, everyone likes pasta.
So these are the travel hacks that...
And one heck of a day on this show.
Well, that was exciting. You got to share a little, you know, show.
Yeah, so that's a little behind the scenes thing. That it's my mantra that I shout out at some point during the show.
Day.
To be able to talk to the person who gave that to me was it was nice.
I would have been like, why did you do that to us?
I need to get it up, but sometimes the day needs a little positive jump start.
You know, sometimes if you are away working or whatever and you're not here, I do that in your absence.
Well,
Do you really?
She does, yeah.
I have never heard this. I need to hear it right now.
You know, you do need to try. You need to try that peanut encrusted bacon that we had upstairs.
That looks really good.
And
Is there any more left?
all did herself. And all the drinks.
Oh, I need to try those soon.
Yes, they will be
The
upstairs.
countdown is on. I know.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your morning.
Do it. Do it.
I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake. It is Thursday, June 13th, and Ben, as you can see, is away this morning.
Good morning, I'm Kelsey McEwen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay DeLuce. It's just after 6 Eastern, 6:01, about 7:01 Atlantic time. It is great to have you with us this morning. It is game day right across the country. So pumped, so excited.
This is a very strange time to be a Canadian. If, in that this morning, our team, our makeup team, makeup and hair, Ruby, who does our hair, said, "Oh, who won the game last night?" And I said, "No, the game is tonight."
Oh, right.
And it was like, "Oh no, wait, the hockey game was last night, but now I'm cheering for basketball." It's weird. I'm there though.
I feel like
there.
I feel like the St. Louis win is a good omen for us.
I think so, too.
They're first-time winners. We could be first-time winners.
And Boston didn't win, so that's cool, right? I smiled this morning when I saw that. Okay, let's talk game day Raptors-wise after coming so close. Last time, the Raptors get a second shot tonight at that NBA title. Right now, but we know they're going to win tonight. So you won't have to pay that 60 grand. It's actually probably 120.
We can finally go to bed at a decent hour this week.
I know.
Feeling it today.
Oh,
Yeah, me
I
too.
know. From We the North to We So Sleepy to We Really Excited.
Yeah.
Really excited.
It's true. And think about the fans out in Halifax who've been gathering to watch it. Hour later for them, right?
I know.
An hour and a half later in Newfoundland.
I mean, in France, it's like 6 hours later.
And then you know what it is.
We go all around the world. I know that there's going to be so many viewing parties right across the country, so weather certainly is going to play a huge role.
And the weather couldn't be worse for the game in the Toronto area because it wouldn't be this series if we weren't talking about rain, standing out in the rain, cheering on the Raps. That's kind of where we're at for today for the Toronto.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye.
All right, and coming up, we're going to be checking in with CP24's Gurdeep Ahluwalia, who's in Oakland. So that's coming up. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's head over to Anne-Marie.
Thanks, Linz. Is the soap dispenser in your public washroom racist? Technology and the automation that drives it is constantly advancing, but does it treat everyone equally? Our next guest says no. Princeton's Ruha Benjamin is launching Canada's new Institute for the Study of Tech and its impact on society. She's our guest in studio this morning. Assume that the bias built into technology is not intended to have racist overtones, but it does offer potential to hide, you say, and even to deepen discrimination. So how is this happening? It's quite advanced, but it is still growing.
There's so many opportunities, so many.
Somebody with a different skin tone.
Absolutely. And so,
story of the day, we're going to take you over to the desk. Canadian company Lulu, I should have my Lululemons on to walk to the desk, is beating earnings expectations, outlining ambitious plans for the future. Here to explain is BNN Bloomberg's Andrew Bell. Look, I have a little walk and talk.
Lululemon on fire in the latest quarter. I love the way you did that, by the way. Men's sales alone were up 26% in their latest quarter. The shares trading in...
When you had started to write the book and what that process is like, like and how you needed to be ready to do that.
Yeah, you know, it's like a lot to
Stepping onto Canadian soil, moving here from Pakistan with your family. What was that moment like for you? What was that experience like?
It was, you know, obviously it was a
I've known each other for a really long time. After my mat leave of the kids, I was looking for, you know, you got to change it up when you become a mom. Flipping through a magazine, I saw his name in the masthead. We've known each other a long time.
Okay, that's great. So you are an expert.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, you're going to put your summer. Let's get to it. First up, short hair is easier to manage. I've had short hair. I would say false.
It's a falsie on
I
this.
feel like the sun changes our hair color.
Oh, you're good. Okay, yeah. It's false. Yes. Right? I mean, the minute...
It's a big Friday, everybody.
She's staying home to oil her hair. Mario, good to have you here. All right, speaking of beverages, it's game day, and the Raptors could make history tonight. We have a very special guest with us.
We do.
No Raptor. Hey, welcome.
Hi, Raptor. Hi, hello.
So glad you're here. Help us cheer on the Raptors.
Yes, we're jumping for Troy. You've had a busy run. Yes, I know, and it's still going. It's going to end tonight, though, Raptor. This is it. Yeah, I see you. I see you.
Game 6 for the 6, as Lindsay keeps saying.
Game 6 for the 6.
I got a little flossing. Here we go.
Hello, Canada. Welcome to your morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
And I'm Graham Richardson. Ben is away this week.
All right, we all love to see our favorite artists perform. Now, we've had this debate on the show before. Ben and I are not concert people, but many, many people are. But, you know, they might also stop becoming concerts people because of the cost of tickets. Have concerts become too expensive? That's the question we are asking this morning after a Rolling Stone article took a look at
music. There's often a subscription fee, sure, and I know artists get a cut of that, but it's not the same as it
No, I have a friend who's in the industry. 30,000 streams is about $60.
Right, so it's their money. They want people like us to come out. Concerts are expensive, though, and like my husband and I just went to the Eagles, and I think we have a picture of what we could see from our seal support.
Right.
But I get why it's like that.
I also think like the production value of these concerts has gone up a lot, you know? So before it was just like your production value has gone up, and to support, I mean, I feel like I can justify paying a little bit more for that, and also to what you said earlier.
So would you pay, would you be willing to pay less and get less of a show around the concert?
The Eagles weren't dancing around, and they didn't have trapeze and acrobatics. Like, they stood there and they played their music, and we still paid several $100s. So I think it depends on who you're seeing. I get it. I want to support our artists, and I'm not supporting them by buying CDs because I have nowhere to play them. I will put in the money to go to a concert, even if it's only one a year. Even if it's one every couple of years, I will pay for it. Anyway, that is our take. Let us know what you think. Weigh in on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and let us know, will you shell out the money to see your favorite artist? Tomorrow on the show, we have been sharing with our viewers those incredible pictures coming out of Greece, those wildfires on either side of Athens. Well, now that city...
Fires like that, the vegetation gets stripped. Yes. So when the rain comes, there's nothing to hold it back. So that is probably, we don't know for sure, probably related to what that catastrophe did to the Athens area. It's just tragic.
I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake. It's Friday, everybody, September 28th.
Yes, good morning. I'm Ben Mulrooney.
That's right, and I'm Lois Lee. It is just after 6 Eastern, just after 7 Atlantic. Good morning, everyone. There is a little bit of a chill in the air.
I heard Kelsey backstage call it September because it's getting cold. Those pictures from Micronesia, it looks like a movie scene being shot.
That's right.
Everybody alive. Everybody safe.
Exactly.
So it'll be incredible to hear that story as it comes out.
And we'll tell everyone the details in news. Let's go there right now.
I listened to this song about 6 times yesterday.
The Bublé version?
Yes, it is a classic. It's a classic.
I always think of When Harry Met Sally.
It's a beautiful version of the song. I love it so much. Listen, this is a big country, right? And according to Kelsey, it's a tale of two halves today. We've got, what is it? We've got wet out east and cold out west, right, Kels?
Super.
All right, well, we've shared some wedding nightmare stories on this show before, but you need to see this list of rules sent out to guests from a wedding planner. Not only are they ridiculous, but tons of spelling
mistakes. But let's talk about some of these rules. What? Is this a club?
How do you know how much your gift is? And is there somebody standing at the door doing like a bag check?
Exactly.
And is this a case of no one is allowed to look better than the bride? Obviously, it sounds like it.
Oh, yeah, there's also another one on that. You can't wear cream, beige, or white.
Oh, yeah, the colors.
Okay, well, that's kind of like an accepted rule. When
But why put it on the list?
Exactly. You know, but for any guest who's surprised when they're getting this list, I mean, know your friend.
Yeah.
There's no way that this is shocking. Like, your friend probably is super high maintenance, kind of a mean friend anyway, I'm assuming. Sorry if you're the bride and groom. But, like, this should not be shocking. I imagine this is this person.
I'm just wondering if anyone's going to show up after receiving this list.
I know. Well, we want to know what your take is. Let us know what you think the wildest thing you've ever heard about a wedding is. So let us know on social media.
I don't know. I've never experienced anything.
No, me neither.
Like this.
Because I have nice friends.
Yeah. Right. Like dressed to like. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That
I
is
like
genius,
books.
though.
I
You
like
don't
that.
have
I like
sprinting
the
drills
coach.
when you read books.
Right, that's right. The only injury you can get reading a book is a paper
Sore
cut.
eyes.
Oh, wait, oh, okay. There's more than one.
Correct. All right. Well, stay with us. Your morning news and weather are right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
That cat.
Brandon,
Yes.
I love your show. Hardcore atheist.
Yes.
But in real life, you are also the son of a preacher. Your mom is a
I am.
preacher.
Yes.
So was there ever a time in your life where the show was very hopeful? And I think
Yes.
that's the sense I got at the end. And at first I was like, is this a religious show? Religion? You know, in particular, the hopefulness of this show. Why is it important to have a show? We'll be having, as a mom, be having conversations with my
Thank
kids
you.
about your show
Yes,
too.
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you
glad
so
Brendan
much.
did.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Country, you don't see your family in over a decade. And to have, you know, these people who, they don't have to do this. These kids didn't have to do it, but they decided to all come together and get this money together and to send him and his wife. It was amazing.
With all the animosity and the struggles that are happening in the U.S., it is good to see young people are the ones who are moving forward this movement of sort of kindness and saying we're going to stand up against whatever's happening now and just put good in the world. It's a lot of good.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all we need some days, right? After seeing a lot of negative stuff, just hearing that.
The importance of people that aren't just doing a job that serves you, but are also spreading kindness and making you feel good and paying that back to them.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
You know, we're heading into the weekend, Canada, and I know you know a lot of people doing good things out there. So we want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media with those good news stories on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to share that with the entire country. After the break, I know we have more news, we have more weather, so stay with us. You're watching Your Morning. Tough one.
Oh, well, you live this, right?
I do live this. Oops. Anyhow, he'll forgive me. But he had to go to a sleep clinic.
Okay.
Sure.
Stayed her fault. I'm
It's
sorry.
not like if you have a baby that's crying, you know, if you have a colicky baby and they cry all the time, yes, this you cannot help, right? Sometimes babies are just going to cry, or you have a dog that's barking very loud.
This is something that I think
like decibels. I want to know
yes,
decibels.
she needs to get fixed for sure, but we also need to like document it and kind of celebrate the fact that like, lady, you were taking people down with your snoring.
Well, if it's
you go, girl.
If it's as bad as Chris is, trust me, it takes you down, it wakes you up. It's like a
I'm telling you
concert.
right now, you are going to get home and Chris's room's going to be empty.
I know.
Or your bags will be in the hall.
I'm sure my phone is blowing up right now.
We need to go through your Instagram and just find Chris tagged. I'm sure he's tagged in a photo somewhere. We're going to find him and we are going to
Brandon.
shame him for it.
With friends like you, Brendan. All right, up next in Your Morning, does night school make the grade? Rad Stop's back.
Thank you so much.
Can we clear something up before we get on with the rest of the interview?
Let's do it.
Is it X? Is it by? Is it and? How do you say the name?
I think Elijah wins by.
On the launch. So I should tell people too, the video, Better Off, is available on Apple Music. We also have season 2 of the launch coming up, which is very exciting. Big fans of the show. Are you guys involved at all? Oh, right? Like, you're the goal.
Thank you.
We hope
Yeah, I
so. We
hope so.
appreciate that. That's a nice compliment.
You're definitely better off. All right, we will be right back. Don't go away. All right, an exhibit of the works of British street artist Banksy has attracted thousands of people in Toronto this summer. But one Toronto illustrator was feeling... All right, well, we reached out to the Art of Banksy exhibit. Their response was this. It's so... When you look at these 2 works of art, that this could be seen as a compliment.
No.
Still ahead on Your Morning, and coming up after the break, we've got some hard news for the owner of a world-famous pet pig. You started that story with us here on Your Morning. We're going to bring you an update just ahead.
Would be
It's from Never Saw It Coming, and it stars Eric Roberts, who is one of the busiest actors in Hollywood. You have seen him in dozens of projects a year. This Canadian production is just one of his latest. He's with us in studio this morning. Good to have you be here.
It's a morning guy.
I can tell that. I can tell that. Tell us a little bit more about this movie.
It's just a fun movie to watch. It's like all of us.
Yes.
He's a great guy.
So this is what's great about Linwood Barclay's movies is he takes humans as they really are. And nobody is ever 100% good or bad. And he takes those little dilemmas that we deal with every day in life and he just blows them up into these novels.
Well, I was very happy in my ignorance because I didn't know his work. So
Be sorry. Listen, we said that you are one of the busiest men in Hollywood. That is not an overstatement. You played so many. I'm happy.
well, let me explain to you how it all happened. When I
Of 3 kids. Tell us a little bit, if you will, about your family. In certain industries, and they either really want their kids to follow in their footsteps, or they try to push them in the furthest possible direction. What was it like for you?
it was always, you're the dad.
You're the dad, but you're also an actor who shares the same craft. Do you ever give her any notes?
I'm an actor in
Canadian theaters today. Eric, thanks for being here with Monday on Your Morning. Breeding a bet. Oh, this will be a good one. Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Your Morning.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
All of us are so lost in our thoughts.
Yeah.
I was flashing back to university. I grew up in Saskatchewan where we said supper, and then I moved to Ontario for university.
I would say dinner at lunchtime.
What?
Yeah. Dinner it would be like noon.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into
Okay,
it.
yes, we're getting to this. That's right, yes. That's coming up this half hour. Some interesting conversations for sure. In the news today, thousands of first responders are heading to...
Really great news. I love that. Before we get to news, before we get back to, or rather to weather, it's a big day for Ariana Grande fans. Today is the day she drops her new album, Sweetener.
Really?
Although upside down, she looks like Kylie Jenner.
Oh, she kind of did, actually. You're right.
I thought it was a picture
in
of
that
Kylie Jenner.
first shot, you're right.
I always
That's
find
weird.
it interesting when you see music videos because clearly they're lip syncing to their own track, and you can tell, like especially when a singer is hitting notes of that ferocity.
Yes.
You need like you'd see the strain and you don't see it anyway.
Yeah.
Always kind of catches me off guard.
But she can sing.
She sure can.
And I don't know if you've ever seen her do her imitation of Celine Dion, but she can sing exactly like
I can see
Celine.
it, and
Yeah,
it's very funny.
she's really talented.
watch that.
Yeah.
A lot of good music on the show this morning. It's been a good day so far. Happy Friday, by the way. We're taking you to India this morning where very heavy rainfall over the state of Kerala caused.
When we do these games. This morning we are taking a look at what the words you say, they can say about where you're from. Sorry, let me try that again. The words you say, like I was just trying to say, can decide where you're from, right? And what time you use them at. So we're putting that into a culinary context and getting competitive. There may or may not be a quiz. There's a quiz. Help us do that. We have food writer Claudia McNeely. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So Claudia, we got American English, we've got British English, and then there's Canadian English, which is maybe a hybrid. Maybe it's a hybrid of the two. Talk to me about the difference between those three.
Your cousins, and we kind of are the underdogs of the English language, and we've created our own version of the English language to suit.
Well, we have a lot of American influence, right, through television and commercials. Terms. We are going to write down which of those terms we would use, and then you're going to tell us about what that means, about where we're from, and maybe some of our other habits.
Sounds great.
All right?
So up first.
Should I just flip when
Do
I'm
we
done?
turn it around? If everybody
Yes.
ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh,
What do you guys say?
I put before. But yeah, up next, you're going to eat
What
your
are we
meal.
going to erase?
All right.
You're going to eat your
What's
meal.
the next one?
Do you use cutlery, utensils, or...
Upon reflection, I'm going with cutlery.
Cutlery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So cutlery tends to be the most popular on the West Coast in Vancouver, Calgary. Most people say silverware because...
First answer said that I was either from Toronto or Vancouver, which is not the case. I've lived here for a few years. But then, and then this last one said I was from Calgary or Vancouver as well.
Not Montreal.
I'm demonstrating that I am simply Canadian.
This is true.
Okay.
Up next.
Pop.
Soft drink.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, Ben, you're really an international Canadian.
Because okay, so you're saying to the kids,
You want a soft drink? Yeah.
You say you want a
I say
soft
soft
drink. You don't
drink,
say you want a pop.
No.
Interesting.
Is it soft?
Hard drink versus soft drink.
But pop is obviously the unanimous.
I'm going to try to check off every province here.
Fascinating.
Okay, so you are eating.
I can see by the length of how long we're all writing, we're saying chocolate bar.
Nice, yes. So chocolate bar is the Canadian bar. So if you say candy bar in Canada, it's kind of a giveaway that you're maybe not from here.
That's because in America, there's not enough real chocolate.
Correct.
In there. Good one.
We are coming up to the...
For me, depending on whether or not I'm talking about them in a pie or not.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you're not making a pie. Maybe you're just going to the store. Are you shopping for
Well,
pecans?
then
I feel like if I'm making something fancy, I say pecan.
Right,
But
so-
if I'm just being me.
Paprikash.
I would like some pecan pie.
Do you know where that's from?
Canadians prefer pecan. That's our go-to. In America, they tend to say pecan. So in Vancouver and Toronto.
Pasta versus pasta.
Yeah, people in Ontario say
believe
pasta.
so. Yes, yeah, and I never say pasta. I always feel like I'm trying to sound fancier than I am if I say pasta.
I don't think either one sounds good to my ear, so I kind of say pasta. Not a hard pasta.
But if you're having like,
pasta.
if
Just
you're having,
blending
like,
them.
mac and cheese, you're not having pasta. You're having pasta.
Well, I don't say, like I said, I kind of I straddle the line because to my ear, neither one sounds right.
Right, like vase and vase.
Yeah.
You have another one. I didn't realize this was an issue for people.
I Googled, is there such a thing as a silent A? And there is no such thing as a silent A.
Care.
Noted.
Caramel.
Yeah,
Caramel.
Kelsey and I say care.
Care.
So most Canadians would agree.
Through like a Dairy Queen or a place like that, they'll say, "Do you want caramel topping?"
No,
And I would reply back, "I'll have caramel."
It's true. And
Weird.
Yeah. Caramel sounds unnecessary.
It's there's no such thing as a silent A. I checked. All right.
So Thank
we
you.
will be right back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for many Canadians heading into the weekend, it is quite rainy, and I have an update for anyone in Ontario along the lake shores as well. There will obviously be some integrity issues there with all this rain.
All right, rain could be used in the city of Toronto. It's been fairly dry here. Toronto has a bit of a mystery on its hands. Tomato plant is growing in a sinkhole along a very busy street. They're also reminding people to always be safe around damaged infrastructure.
That looks better than
tomato
half
plants.
the gardens in my neighborhood.
I know, those fields look
Enjoy the
really
rest of your
good.
morning. Have a great weekend, Canada.
Bye, everyone.